Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's yin yoga practice. I encourage you to bring a block if you're feeling super tight. Pardon my adjustment there. Let me just make sure everything's streaming okay. We're going to meet down on the floor as soon as you're ready for today's yin yoga practice. Go ahead, come on into sukassanah, a comfortable, easy seated position. Do, do, do. There we are. The best of times, the best of times. Okay. Bam! We've made it to today's practice. If you're feeling really tight, you might want to start sitting on your block. So if you sit down, your knees are coming up towards your armpits and you can't relax them down. Sitting on a block is a great way to help gently start to open your hips and your hip flexors. Find a little bit of grounding through your sit bones. Relax your shoulders away from your ears. Start to come into your breath and use your breath to notice how your body is feeling today. So on your inhales, just take in wherever you might be feeling any tension or tiredness or stress or sadness. And on your exhale, if you don't need it, if it's not bringing you joy, can you just let go a little bit? Remember, if your eyes are moving, your mind is moving. So find one spot to simply relax your eyes or close them and do the best to create the asanas, the shapes that I will bring your way. We're going to have a little bit of some yang movement in our yin today. Let's enjoy one more minute just breathing and starting our practice off. If you want to set an intention for today's practice, now is a beautiful time to do so. So if you know that there's a lot happening in your head and in your heart, a great way to quiet your mind and to stay in this moment is to repeat a phrase to yourself. And if you believe it, you will achieve it. So, what's meaningful? What do you want or need more of in your life? Maybe just feeling like you are amazing and wonderful and enough, because I bet that you are. I so think that you are. I hope that you can take the time during this practice to remind yourself of that too. So whether you're coming through on that positive affirmation or simply taking the time to count your breath to stay present. We're going to start with some neck circles. What a surprise. So you can gently begin to bring your right ear towards your right shoulder. And if you want to hang out in any of these points of your neck circles, if you're feeling really tense or tired, then please do. As slowly as you possibly can, bringing your chin down to your chest, starting to make some circles with your nose, with your head, with your neck. If you're feeling really tense, tired, perhaps you keep these circles just towards the front of your body, just chin to chest, ear to shoulder. And if you're feeling a little bit more flexible, comfortable, you can make a larger circle, bringing your head back. We've got about one more minute. If you've been moving in the same direction the whole time, making a full circle, go ahead, give yourself the opportunity to move your head in the opposite direction. And still staying focused on your long, deep, intentional breaths. All right. So the next time your chin comes to your chest, really draw your low belly in, ground through both of your sit bones. We're going to lift our head, stacking head over heart over hips. Go ahead and bring your right hand down either to the floor or the block next to you. And let's inhale the left arm overhead. Give yourself a really big, slow wave. And on your inhale, lift yourself up. We're going to bring the left hand down towards the floor and send that right arm up nice and high and find a big wave to the opposite side. And if you want, you can take a little bit of a twist here in your waves. You can move one arm completely in its own time. Maybe turning your chest towards the floor. Maybe you're rotating up towards the ceiling. There's no wrong moves. We're just doing what calls to us, giving ourselves an opportunity for a little deeper stretch, still just making sure that your sit bones are staying on the floor for now. One more minute to just wave to the world. Hello. Greetings and salutations to all the positive things out there. Come my way. And adios to all of the negativity and crap. Let's be real. But hello, wonderful world. Opening your heart here to just receive the great energy that's there that you're also putting out in your mind and breathing in through your breath. Next time those arms come up overhead, both arms come up overhead. Draw your shoulders down away from your ears, engage your back. Draw your low belly in, and then let's rain fingers down to the floor or maybe a block in front of you. You can pull your chest forward, still keeping sit bones down on the floor, or you can round through your chest. Find what feels good for you, even right here. Maybe you even enjoy a little cat cow because we got 2 minutes pretty much for almost all of our postures today. So if you want to be a little bit more flowy as you just get into the stretch, see what your body feels, wants, or needs, and then create your stillness. We got 1 minute to go. Make sure you didn't come into any sort of a stretch that's so deep or challenging that your breath is limited. Continuing to let the number one focus on today's practice be your long, deep inhales in through your nose, pausing at the top, lungs full, diaphragm full, and even slower than your inhale is your exhale. So do as little as you need to keep your breath going and as much as you can or want while still enjoying that same breath. Sit bones still down on the floor. Pull your lower belly in once again. Let's inhale those arms all the way up towards the sky. And then turn to your left, taking a spine twist. Keeping this length in your spine, I'm going to bring my right hand to the right knee. Shoulders relax down away from my ears. Left hand comes close by the base of my spine to the hips. I like to only bring the right hand to the right knee because that helps me keep that really long stacking. Bringing my right hand to the left leg already starts to encourage a lot of rounding through the spine, some collapsing through the chest. And for me, I'm getting a lot less in the spine twist with that like crunching. I'm in that position all day. I don't want more of that. If you do, that's totally fine. But if you don't, if you really want to maximize that spine twist, keep your shoulders rolled down away from your ear. Keep your low belly pulled in for some space. And once you can't rotate your shoulders and chest anymore, can you turn and look over your shoulder just a teeny tiny bit? Last few breaths here on this side. And on your next inhale, let's come back through center. Arms can come up overhead, or you can keep them low. If you like, sit bones down, shoulders away from ears. Exhale, find your twist to the opposite side. So this time, my left hand is just coming to the left knee, not the right, because that brings that extra rounding into my back, and I don't like it. But if you like it, then you're doing it because this is your practice. And we're just here to nourish our own souls. Back to your positive thoughts and intentions. Never too late to set one, to change it. Even the simple thought of today is going to be an amazing day. Look at you. You're here. You're breathing. You're creating time for yourself. That is so special, just like you. Last few breaths in your spine twist. Ground through your sit bone again. Use your inhale, length through the crown of your head. Arms can come back up overhead. And then exhale, relax your arms into your lap or by your side. We're going to uncross our legs. Maybe even take a moment and just windshield wipe your feet right and left. If sitting on the floor, maybe your back tired, you can give yourself a gentle little squeeze, a supported backward bend. We're going to stay upright for just a little bit more. And I'll turn to the side so you can still see me. All right, next up, one leg at a time, we're going to do some stomp. So taking your right foot and bringing that right heel as close to the center line as you can. You can use your hands to hold on to your shin. Maybe you use your elbow crook. Ooh, pardon me, hiccups. So hold on to your shin. Can you keep your chest lifted here, a nice long spine as opposed to rounding in the spine? We're going to hang out here for one more minute. We're already in it. We're already in it to win it. And this is a fantastic way to open your hips to get that same beautiful stretch that you could create in a squat, but without a lot of the challenge and pressure. This can still be quite challenging to keep your chest lifted. So keep breathing, keep doing you. I bet whatever you're doing is fantastic because you showed up and that is enough. But one more big inhale. On your exhale, you can bring your hands behind you. We're going to bend the left leg and cross your right ankle over the left leg. So coming into a figure four stretch. Oh my gosh, words. And then walk yourself in. If you cannot handle this upright figure four stretch and you need to lie down, please lay yourself down. We're only here for 2 minutes though, so maybe you just keep your hands a little bit further back. We're still trying to bring that right knee away from your chest. It's a little more than a minute to go. I know you can do it. I know you can create the stillness and the breath. You just have to believe in yourself. So let's take some deep breaths, believe in ourselves right now. Last two big inhales and exhales in your upright figure four or reclined if you needed it. When you're ready, we're going to send left leg long. You can keep your right foot crossed over the left leg. Maybe you even bring the sole of the right foot higher up to your hip crease. And then we're just going to take a little forward hinge. Try to take that rounding out of your back. So we want to make sure that our shoulders are coming forward of our hips so that we don't have any extra pressure on the back. And you can stay right here. Maybe you reach towards your foot. If you brought a strap today, even though I didn't say you had to have one, you can always wrap that strap around your foot to pull yourself forward a little bit more. And if you're really not enjoying the extra pressure of your foot on your thigh, then simply open your legs a little bit wider. Bring the sole of the foot to your inner thigh, and wherever you are, just hang out. We have a little bit more than a minute to go. Both sit bones on each exhale are firmly planting into your mat space. Your left toe can do whatever you want. Maybe it's flexed to your face. Maybe it's gently relaxing away. It's our second forward fold of the day, but maybe the first time you really notice your breath coming to the backside. Inhale, feeling your diaphragm and ribs expand. Exhale, finding and enjoying their contraction. Great. On your next inhale, lift yourself up. We're going to take this right leg and we're going to flip it around. So rolling onto your left glute, bring your right foot behind you. I even like to turn the top of my foot down towards the floor. You can have your knees wide or you can bring them together. Or if you're really struggling with this one, go ahead and sit yourself up onto a block for a little bit of like runners modified, what are those things? Hurdles, or we're basically getting half of fixed firm here. So your foot is like creating a bowl for your glute. You might even need to move your amazingly strong calf out of the way and find your stillness back to your breath. We're almost done here. All right. Finishing off with a little bit of deer pose, we're going to take that long left leg, bend it, bring the sole of the left foot to your right thigh bicep. Yeah, that was correct. Maybe you even open that back foot up so that the inner arch edge of your both feet are on the floor, or you can keep that left foot in. I like having the right foot in. I like having my right foot in. Feels different than that fixed firm stretch that we were just doing. Still a lot into breaking down scar tissue and whatnot in your ankles. So this may be very intense if you're a runner, if you've had some sprained ankles. But I love the stretch that we're getting in the quad, a little bit in the hip. If it's still too much though, turn towards your left leg. Maybe your right glute even comes up off the floor. Just find what works for you. Remember, your breath is your number one guide in the stretch. So wherever you can enjoy your longest, slowest, deepest, strongest breath is where you're going to be right now. We got 1 minute to go. All right. We're going to bring our hands behind us. Take your time, sending knees up towards the ceiling, untucking your back foot. Maybe you even tap your toes out a little bit, shake or wiggle your feet, because I know we did. Cut off a little circulation into that right ankle. You can windshield wipe your legs left and right. You've got like 1 minute of any sort of free movement, bobbing your legs, shaking it out. And we're going to do all the same amazing things that we just did on the opposite side. Mhm. I'll face this direction now, just for funsies. Just for funsies. Okay, so this time let's get started with that half stump. Right leg is going to stay along. Sit, won't stay on the floor. You can sit on a block. Draw that left leg in, trying to create that strong, long, neutral spine here. So not rounding towards the back, pulling your chest forward using your hand palms or your elbow crook. And your right leg, your toe can fall away. It can flex towards your face. You're finding what feels right for you, for your practice. Back to your breath, your focus, your drishti. Just breathe and be. Because there's no one better to be than yourself. And today is going to be an amazing day. Okay, we're going to find that upright figure four if you can. Otherwise, remember you can lay down. So bending your right leg up. We're going to cross the left ankle over the right thigh this time. And then you can walk yourself in to get a little bit deeper in the stretch. Whole new side of the body. Remember, breath is our guide. It's our number one. Stretch is our number two. Who does number two work for? I know. I know, you guys. All right, we got a little bit more than a minute to go. Last few breaths. As you're ready, let's start to extend the right leg long. Remember, whole new side of the body. So maybe you keep your left ankle crossed over your right thigh as long as that feels okay on your knee. Maybe you bring the arch of your left foot all the way up to your right hip and you can find that forward fold. You can sit on a block. And if that all still feels like too much, you can bring the uh, sole of the left foot towards your right inner thigh and do one of those, whichever calls to you today. Just because you can go for a deeper stretch also doesn't mean that you have to all the time. If you're in any sort of a forward fold, contract your core, protect your back, lift yourself up. We're going to lift that left leg up and flip it around. Remember, you can sit up on your block. You can use your hand to move your amazing strong calf out of the way. Trying to just like point our toes directly behind us, making a delightful bowl for our seat to sit in. We got a little over a minute to go. It's almost time to lay down on our backs too. So a few more breaths, a few more minutes. We'll be there. Okay, as you're ready, let's find our last seated posture. Bring in the sole of the right foot to the left thigh bicep for a little bit of deer pose. You can stay super tight. You can open up to some 90-90 degree angles. If you're really struggling and it's super uncomfortable to try and get your left sit bone down towards the floor, turn towards the right. Go ahead, take a twist here. Allow that left sit bone to lift maybe next time in the future. As you just breathe through it, you'll start to open up a little bit more and be able to truly relax here. Both sit bones down on the. If you took a if you took a twist towards the outside of the right thigh, turn back towards center. Let's bring hands down on the mat. Press yourself up into tabletop. Give yourself a couple cat cows. Shake out through your hips, shake out through your shoulders. We got a nice long child's pose coming up next. So know that that is on the way. As we're starting to close out today's practice, just give yourself this opportunity to create those extra shakes and shimmies and breath and movement into your shoulders, into your rib cage, into your hips, all the places that you just want a sense of love and attention and some breath and positive vibes, all the good stuff, just taking it into our hearts, our minds, our souls. One breath, one stretch at a time. Okay. Feel free to open your knees as wide as you want. And when you're ready, you can enjoy cat cow a little longer. Send your glutes back towards your heels, releasing your forehead down towards the floor or a block. Your arms can be stretched as far forward as feels good for you. Maybe even a little tenting of your fingers, making some Halloween spooky spiders with your hands and pressing your spiders little feetsies into the mat. Or maybe you have a generous bend of your elbows or even reaching your hands all the way back towards your heels for that extra separation through your shoulders. We're going to take 3 more minutes here. Our longest posture so far, just relaxing. I hope you just enjoyed some delightful stillness. Bring your hands back underneath of your chest, shoulders, press yourself up. Let's make our way onto our glutes again, sending those legs out long in front of you. Once you make it down to your back, let's draw knees up towards the chest, relaxing your low back, your middle back, your upper back onto the mat. Perhaps you gently rock side to side a couple times, a little massage for your whole spine. And then keeping your low back firmly planted, making some circles with your knees in one direction, a nice massage to your low back sacrum, and then circles with your back in the opposite direction. So feet are uncrossed. They're side by side, and they might be real wide here also. Let's create a little bit of stillness, knees drawing in towards your chest. Bring your chin towards your chest. Keep the back of your head pressed down towards the floor. Can you even really open your chest? Create that external rotation of your shoulders here so the outer edges of your shoulders press down towards the mat. We're taking a couple more slow breaths. And then on your next inhale, send your legs up towards the ceiling. There can be a generous bend in your knees, little legs up the imaginary wall, encouraging some lymphatic draining down to our hearts. Still giving yourself that double or triple chin, just in case you lost it. Bring that back to the party. And then slowly begin to bring your knees back to your chest. One foot at a time releases down to your mat space. Option to go right into your savasana, or you can come into a reclined bound angle. I'm going to go for the reclined bound angle. One last hip opener. So before I get there, pressing the soles of the feet into the floor, a little glute bridge just to get my glutes relaxed on the mat, and then knees opening nice and wide. Even from here, you might want to press into the outer edges of your feet to allow your glutes to relax on the mat. And if you have two blocks, those blocks can come under the outer edges of your thighs for some support. And if you don't have two blocks, you can wiggle your toes closer towards the bottom of the mat. Hopefully at some point, the outside of your shins, your calves, your knees, your thighs start to come towards the floor for a little bit more support. And if they don't, then definitely take advantage of using your block or a rolled up towel or a sock, whatever you need to like eliminate the light or air so you can feel a little bit more relaxed and supported in the stretch. We still got those double, triple chins right here. Just making sure your chin's not jutting up towards the ceiling. You could stay here in your reclined bound angle for as long as you want or need, but when you're ready, extending your legs nice and long. Maybe your legs open wide, maybe your arms open wide, maybe one hand at your heart, one hand at your belly. Just find your final savasana and give your final savasana the same focus and attention that you've given to all of the other asanas and shapes and breath that we've created throughout today. In fact, this is the most important as you take the time in your stillness to just let your practice sink in. Everything before we were like tenderizing, and now we're just marinating, soaking up all the flavor, all the goodness. Take one more time, one breath at a time. So move down your body. Inhale, notice how you feel. Is there still any tension? Is it the same tension that was there when we started? Maybe I said something or you did something or it's a combo. It can be a team effort. That throughout this practice, you some tension was added. And can you just exhale and let it go? Reset your body, mind, and soul one last time here together today. Well, we'll close out practice from the floor as I encourage you to stay here as long as you need, maybe longer than you want. And while you close out your practice, reminder to keep taking this time for yourself on a daily basis because if no one's told you today, you are special and you are worth it. There's no one better to be than yourself. Creating this time for you and your physical and your mental health and your breath is going to make today an amazing day. And the more that you focus on you and fill your cup and improve yourself, the more that you inspire others around you to do the same, to take the time to do the work, to do the deeds, to feel our best. And together as a community, whether we are in person or virtual, we're making a difference one person at a time. So thank you so much for coming today, for putting your positive energy and thoughts and vibrations out there, for taking a little bit and of mine and sharing this time and space. As always, the light within me honors, sees, and is so thankful for the light within you. whether you are part of my everyday or just part of my virtual community. I really do appreciate you. Thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your practice and an even better rest of your day. Namaste.